In light of this turbulent atmosphere that the Islamic nation is experiencing and the continuous sorrows that we see in Gaza, we see in Syria, we see in Yemen, we see in Libya, in Sudan, in Somalia, in countries, even non-Arab countries, in Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, India, Kashmir, means many tragedies for Muslims and continuous sorrows in this turbulent atmosphere. The Washington Post, the famous American newspaper, told us good and heartening news. This news was published on Monday, 6/9/2025 AD, and is a report by the Pew Center. From the famous American research centers, it produces statistics at the world level in many different fields, including the fields of belief and religion. So it means publishing the report. In it, he explains his painstaking study. In fact, they studied more than 2,700 statistics worldwide in order to obtain these results for the number of members for each faith in the decade that began in 2010 and ended in 2020. These 10 years are they working on this topic. What do they get? 10-year study. What changes have occurred in the percentage of converts to religions? There is a diversity of beliefs globally. Naturally, as the global population expands, the number of adherents in religions increases. The 2010 population was 6.9 people on earth. In 2020, they are 7.8 10,000 people, meaning in 900,000 people increased, and thus the $900,000 were distributed among different religions and different beliefs. All religions have increased in number except Buddhism. I said in the 2010 issue. In 2010, areas like 300A, 42A had a population of 1 million, while in 2020 it reached 324. So I said, about 20 or 19,000 people to leave Buddhism for other things. That's why we will not know how to say the numbers of the increase, the number. All the people have increased, but what will make a difference in the percentage of this religion relative to the population of the earth? How much was it? How much has it become? When they did this, things found that Islam and the statement the Pew Center published, as I told you in the Washington Post, June 9th, returned to him a very, very important report. I hope that every Muslim reads it so that his head can benefit like this and be proud of this religion. Islam is the fastest religion. In the world, Islam increased from 2010 to 2020. Its percentage increased by 1.8%, which was in the year 2000. And its percentage increased by 23.8% in the year 2020, becoming 25.6%, an increase of 1 point. This, of course, is the result. The number of Muslims who grew up was about 347,000 Muslims who were guests during this period. But we said we would return to the issue of percentages. On the other hand, Christianity also decreased by 1.8%, which means Islam increased by 1.8% and Christianity decreased by 1.8%. Christianity, of course, in the year 2010 was the highest faith in the entire world, of course, in total. The Orthodox with the Catholics, with the Protestants, although they are very different. But why do they get together? In 2010, their percentage was 30.6% of the world's population. In 2020, they became 28.8% of the world's population. This means that Islam is increasing and Christianity is decreasing over time. This is the American study conducted on this topic, published in the Washington Post, which is very nice, in the center, Pew Center, in the same study. Explain the reasons for this discrepancy. Islam is rising and Christianity is falling. He said that first is average. I returned to a topic for 3 years. The first factor is that the average age of Muslims in general in the world is 24 years old. The average, of course, includes children, elderly people and young people with everything, but the average age is 24 years, average. Non-Muslims, which is 3/4 the population of the earth. The second, 1/4 of the earth's population has an average age of 824 are Muslims.
The average age of the Earth's population is 33, which means 9 years older than Muslims. And this, of course, means that the nation is a young nation. Islam and its future are growing. I mean, what you see from these numbers, we will see better than it, God willing, in the future after that. The second reason I attribute to this topic is that the nation is young, or the age of its youth means a lot. Yes, the birth rate is high. The birth rate of Muslims is higher than that of non-Muslims. And the third jump is very important. Very, 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 very. I put 1,000 lines under it, that Muslims do not abandon their religion and increase without what they say. God willing, there is no strength except in God adhering to their faith. In most cases, no Muslim closes a religion regardless of the Eid al-Din campaigns, beliefs and differences in civilizations. In the end, Muslims, this was the American report as well, not the words of Raghib al-Surjani. This is the words of the American report that was reported.
Are they saying that? And come back. I hope you will come back and read this. The report B fully means.
They say that they are Muslims, their religion is not ignored, and therefore their number is increasing and others are decreasing. On the other hand, I am proud of the report. The lack of Christians with time is due to the opposite factors. What remains from the first date is that the average age is very old, few were born, and they have them at the same time. There are many people who leave Christianity for others. The big global problem is that if Christians leave religion, they will not have another religion. No, this will be atheism. This is, of course, a very remarkable thing. His view is striking the study itself.
The same study of scholars, like the same study says that we were surprised because we expected that atheism would decrease over time. Why? Will he say, with time. You expected materialism to say it would decrease with time. Why? Because of the atheists are not about to marry or have children, and therefore with time it may decrease. So they found that their percentage in 2010 was 23 and 3.
From 10% in 2020, they received 24.2%, meaning an increase of 0.9%.
Approximately 1% increase, and this is a large number, meaning that almost atheists are Muslims. A quarter of the population of the earth are atheists, and when they looked at the matter, they found that in Christianity they moved to atheism and thus increased the percentage of atheism and reduced the percentage of Christianity in the world. And of course this is clear in France, in Sweden, in the Czech Republic, in America, in England, meaning the percentage of atheism is increasing in these countries in a very striking way.
China exhibits the highest rate of acute conditions globally. China has 1.3 billion atheists. In the past, they were affiliated with Buddhism, Confucianism, and other religions. Now, that's it. They clearly say that they are atheists out of the 1.4 billion people who are the population of China. Most of the people are M. It's all atheists, meaning 100,000 in it. But there are no atheists. So that's it. This is for China, the second country in atheism in the world. Very strange, the largest number of atheists in the world in China, medicine, and the second country with atheists in the world, America. Imagine understanding 101,000 atheists out of 331,000 who are the population of America. The third country in atheism is Japan, which has 73,000 atheists out of 126,000 people in Japan. The report is pure in the end, and this is also the words of the American report, because the percentage of Muslims will one day remain equal with the percentage of Christians.
And then the day will come when Islam will be the highest faith in the entire world.
They are still saying our next study. We are trying to determine when this change will be. When will Islam become number one in the world after that? I mean, and all the different faiths will come after it. There are other studies being done other than a study. The Pew Center says that this will be in the year 2070. It is the first time after the percentage of Muslims is higher. But they say that God knows best about the changes that may occur within.
The coming years, whether from the movement of religion or the death of people or wars or other plagues and epidemics, God knows what can happen that can change this path, but the path. What I know about this picture is the path mentioned in this report. A comment on this report is very important. We make two quick comments like this. We say the first thing, despite all the pictures of weakness that the Islamic nation suffers from, whether at the political, military, social or economic level, in many matters, Islam is the fastest growing religion, which is amazing. And a very great thing, you feel this.
In light of this atmosphere, this is because many non-Muslims are converting to Islam due to the strength of Islam, and there are very many people who are Muslims. Their circumstances were difficult. They do not abandon religion or abandon religion. These words reminded me of Heracles' dialogue with Abu Sufyan. We all preserve the dialogue, and it is very, very beautiful. They returned to it, read it all over each other like this, and enjoyed it, a dialogue in Al-Bukhari. It mentions the dialogue between Abu Sufyan and Hakel in the 7th year of Hijrah, after the Hudaybiyah peace and before Islam. Hercules wanted to confirm that the messenger, may God bless him and grant him peace, was right. Abu Sufyan asks questions. Among these questions, what did he say to him? He said, Yazidon, or are they lacking? Will any of them leave their religion? I mean, after he enters this religion, does he leave this religion? Will we plan his religion after he enters it? Abu Sufyan on the two topics said, the first said, they will increase. Oh yes, they will increase, not decrease. And will he leave? One of them, religion. Abu Sufyan said, may God not leave any Muslim religion. At the end of the dialogue, Heraclius explains to Abu Sufyan the answers to the questions he answered and their meaning. He said, I asked you, do they increase or decrease? So I mentioned that they are increasing, and Ed also commanded faith until it is fulfilled. Then he said, and I asked you, does anyone who is dissatisfied with his religion turn away from his religion after he enters it? I said, no, and so did faith. When hearts interact with his screen, God is great. Look at this. Haraki speaks as if he were an Islamic preacher, explaining to Abu Sufyan the nature of this religion and the nature of this Islam. Hadi is one of the strongest evidences of the strength of the Islamic faith, the clarity of the Islamic faith, and the compatibility of the Islamic faith with human nature, convincing people to enter Islam, even if Islam is in this way. With this suffering and weakness that we see all over the world now, but people enter Islam, not others, and convince Muslims not to leave the religion. Although it is possible for them, their financial conditions would remain better if they converted to this or that religion somewhere and declared their lack of connection to Islam, which places them in the focus of terrorism, places them in the focus of backwardness, and places them in the perspective of people. They live in Europe, America, Yemen, or other countries of the world, but they do not ignore their religion. This is a great and amazing thing, and we also realize that Iraq, which knew that this religion is the truth, and that it has verses and evidence in the Torah and the Bible, came out of it with this concept, and asked about certain things, and they disbelieved in them, and they themselves proved them unjustly and loftily.